Folks, these houses have been destroyed. I'll get into that and then the latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending October 16th, 2024. I received a call from somebody who wants to sell his house. And so, I go look at the house. Now, here's the whole situation. He owns a house. On the same street, he owns a second house. Now, that second house he bought specifically to house students from family and friends back home. So he's got a whole bunch of students. He's got 7 living in that house, plus the home he's in with his family. In the basement, he's got 3 other students. And these are all from family. These are all children of family and friends he has back home that have come here to study. And life has been wonderful for him for a few years. But recently things have changed, and over the course of this past year, one by one, many of these students have chosen not to return to Canada. Some didn't even tell him. They just didn't show up. He wasn't getting the rent, and when he went to the house to check for rent, the other students are like, no, they went back home. They're not coming back. So he's down to 3 students out of 10. And he has tried to sell this home before. He can no longer afford to keep it. And in trying to sell it, he says he's had no luck. Nobody, he's not had any offers, very few showings. And he's called me to try to help him. Now, my position, first of all, on this type of home where it's designed, this was a 3-bedroom home, but he had 7 different bedrooms redesigned, rejigged to 7 different bedrooms in his house. The majority of these types of properties, they're illegal. And I'm not condoning anybody does that. In fact, I'm against that type of home. But he's not called me to rent this out. He's called me to sell this home. And so I come up with a price. After a bunch of research, I say, this is the way the home is now. This is what it's going to sell for. And he doesn't like that price. And so he tells me the price he wants to sell at or needs to sell at. And I say, look, unless you're prepared to bring this home back to its even original state, you're not going to get that money. And whoever buys it, that's what they're going to do. They're going to put the money in so they could live there comfortably. Either you do it or somebody else does it, but one way or another, it's going to come out in the wash. The price has to make sense with the house the way it is now. He wasn't having it. Now, understand, folks, a house like this, that's a rooming house that has multiple bedrooms and all set up, these homes age like milk. They get destroyed fast. Whatever you would consider normal wear and tear is amplified when you've got a whole bunch of students living in this home and a bunch of the rooms have been blocked off already. That's already, caused some damage to the home. So this is not a good situation to be in. And if the owner is not willing to or cannot afford to bring this house up, the only way this is going to sell if the price is way down. And we see this problem more and more and more. There are more homes like this coming onto the market to different degrees. Sometimes it's the whole home. Sometimes it's just the basement of the home the family is living in where the basement has all been chopped up. But a lot of people invested money into these types of homes. They have bought homes on purpose near universities. They've bought larger homes than they could maybe afford, knowing that when I chop up my basement into 4, 5, 6 different rooms, I'm going to get so much money and I can afford this larger home. Well, that wave of students coming into our country was going up and up and up. That has changed. The wave is now going the other way. And a lot of these homeowners are getting caught and they're not willing to fix up these properties. And they've been destroyed. They're not willing to fix these up. the volume of students coming in is not like it used to be, and they're getting stuck. And this problem is just going to get worse. There's going to be more and more of these properties. We'll see what happens. I mean, several choices. Either you pay the money to fix the house up again, use some of those profits that you made, or you sell it at a lower price than what you would expect. Otherwise, I'm not sure which way that's going to go. But that wave of students, that's changed. And it's going to continue to change as far as the foreseeable future goes. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. There's a link up here. There's another one below this video in the description. The link is to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, this show is about detached properties, but we've got this awesome townhouse. It's bigger than many detached properties at over 2,300 square feet, backs onto a forest. Check out the video at the end of this video. Okay, let's get started. We're talking about detached properties. All the data here is for detached properties for Mississauga, Brampton, and for parts of the Durham region. Have a look. I've got average sold prices here. Mississauga, the bigger numbers, normally average price. Mississauga is always much higher than Brampton and Durham. And the difference in price, you're kind of looking at about $339,000 difference. So some people that'll say, yeah, I'm thinking of buying a detached property either in Mississauga or in Brampton or in Mississauga or in Durham. It kind of doesn't make sense because there's a huge difference in average sold price. So let's get started. Mississauga detached properties for week ending October 16th, 43 detached properties were sold. Seven of those were at $2 million or more. Now 43 is down from the previous week, but if we just forget the previous week, 43 seems kind of normal, what we've been selling for per week most of the fall. Average sold price did shoot up over the previous week. Now the previous week was one of the lowest average sold prices we had all year. But for this week, October 16th, we're at $1,466,000. 1,466 is 1% higher than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 2% higher than where we were this time a year ago. If we look at the dotted line, the 4-week moving average, it's kind of showing that average price and median price, since basically we started the fall, has gradually, slightly been trending down. Average sold price and median price. 43 were sold, 28% sold at list price or more. Listings has been trending down. Active listings, slightly trending down, so there's fewer available, but not that much, or not that many fewer. I'm not sure how my English is working there, but active listings trending down. Months of inventory, a little higher from where we were last week. We're now at 3.8 months of inventory. Now 3.8 is pretty much kind of in line where we were mid to end of September, where we were sitting at 4.0 months of inventory. So pretty much a balanced market when it comes to detached properties in general across Mississauga. Let's look at Brampton. 48 detached properties were sold, so sales are down from the previous week. One was at $2 million or more. Average sold price up a tiny bit from the previous week to $1,160,000, but average sold price, it's pretty clear, has been trending down. Compared to last year, $1,160,000 is 5% higher than where we were this time a year ago. Median price is 4% higher. And if we look at basically the last 4 or 5 weeks or so, looks like average price and median price are trending downward. 48 were sold, 31% sold at list price or more. Listings has been trending down. Active listings trending down, but slightly, not so aggressive. So there's still quite a few properties available for sale. And months of inventory up from the previous week, now at 4.3 months of inventory. Pretty much a balanced market if you're shopping or selling in Brampton a detached property. Here's Durham. Now for Durham, I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample. And like the other two areas, I'm only looking at detached data for detached properties. 35 detached properties were sold. No property sold at $2 million or more. Sales for the last few weeks kind of looks like it's coming down or trending down. Average price, maybe trending up actually. We're now at $1,127,000. It is down from the previous week, but overall for the fall, if we get rid of this one crazy week here that had a really low average price, overall looks like prices are headed upwards. 5% is the difference between this year's average sold price and a year ago. The median difference is 8%. We're 8% higher this year over last year. And the dotted line does show since kind of the beginning of September, average price, median price trending up a bit. 35 were sold, 26% sold at list price or more. Listings coming down, I would say, but active listings hasn't changed that much in 4 or 5 weeks. And months of inventory looks like it is trending upwards. We're now at 3.3 months of inventory. Big difference between months of inventory in this region, the Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby versus Brampton and Mississauga. Here's a summary. We're now kind of pretty much in a balanced market no matter where you go. But look, that's an average for the region. Depending on the price point, the home type, the neighborhood, you're going to experience different types of markets. Sometimes there will be competition on some of these properties you may be trying to buy or to sell. And other times they're going to sit and sit. It's really important to understand what's happening in that neighborhood. It is very neighborhood, property type, price point specific, the kind of market you experience. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. You're about to see 29 Oleana Way in Brampton. This is a large 4-bedroom townhouse over 2,300 square feet, and it still has room for a large office. It's a modern home, and the lot, big lot, backs onto a forest. Have a look.